And for today, another table saw. I got like a run of them in a row here. This one is an Atlas table saw, 10-inch. My guess, early to mid 1940s. Let's get into it. Hey, if you like what you see here or you found it interesting or useful, why don't you give that subscribe button a click. Maybe give us a like, maybe hit the little bell thingy, lets you know when we put up new videos. What? Huh? Oh, my lawyer would like a word with you.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. No, Will Robinson. Danger.
All right, like we always do, let's kind of take a walk around and see what this thing's made of. It's got a blade in there, old blade, but carbide tipped. The fence looks, oh, that's off. The little fine adjustment's off. And the lock is not locking. It does have the cast iron extension, as you can see there. Let's see what we got down here. Okay, we have the lock and the angle, or the angle gauge, and then the elevation here. This thing seems to work quite stiff. This is the lock for that. That does not seem to work for the angle. Okay, let's try that. It's got the badge on there. That's nice. Plastic or die cast, I'll bet. As I said, it has the extension. This looks all screwed up. I'll have to address that. Here's where the motor mounts. I do have the original motor, or an Atlas motor. And as you can see here, the casting itself is broken. Where the second lock screw would be, that's broken off. I'll probably have to tap that, drill and tap that to put the second one in there. It's dirty. It's got the double drive pulley on it. This side, I like that these are steel and not plastic here. It's all bent up here and it's missing the cover. I'll probably have to make one of those. I'll make that out of like 1/8-inch hardboard or something. Rebend that, get that working. Here's the badge. I'll give you a close-up of that. Okay, so it looks relatively complete. I'm sure I have a miter gauge around here I can use if I can't find the original one. It is on a angle iron homemade wheeled base. That is, I guess, utilitarian. I mean, it works. Maybe not the prettiest thing. I might do something with that too. At the very least, I'll wire wheel or sand it and paint it. And then probably put some kind of new deck on here that I will paint gray just to give it a more original look. So quite a lot of work on this one. Let's get you over to the motor. Here's the motor on this guy. Big, heavy motor, 3/4 horse. I noticed this casting here is broken. That's all part of the, probably the same, broke at the same time as that other one did. And I have very limited success with welding cast iron. Now, could I put a plate across here? I mean, I'll figure out what I'm going to do here, but at the very least, I'm going to try to weld that, I think. Again, I've had hit and miss. Cast iron is tough to weld. Let's flip her over. Oh man, this thing is heavy. It's all cast iron. Give you a look at the data plate. Right there. 3/4 horse. Looks like it can be 230 or 115. So I might do a separate video. This guy's in tough enough shape. I might want to tear him down, and I'll do a separate video on that. So let's start with the deconstruction. All right, let's start with the easy stuff. This off, get the blade off. have a tool that works on most of these. Let me look at that. Looks like a right-hand thread on this one. You guys have seen me use this wooden block. So right-hand thread, it looks like, as I'm looking at the Acme threads or whatever they are. There we go. Came off pretty easy. Let's get this blade off. Alright, blades off. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, we can take off these back ones. That looks not, or back one, the motor mounts. Remember that other one is broken. Half inch? Half inch. I juiced these last night. Okay, not all the way loose, but this guy should just come out, you know. No lock nut because that one's broken. This guy, oh, he comes out pretty easy too. Alright. So now I guess what we'll do is flip it over, get the top off so we can take a look and see what's going on in there. So instead of flipping it all the way over and trying to get the camera in where you guys can see it, maybe I'll just do it like this, and hopefully you'll be able to see it a little better what I'm doing. First of all, let's get rid of the sawdust. Or at least some of it. And then it looks like there's 4 bolts holding the top on. 1, 2, 3, 1 in each of the corners. And they look to me like 9/16. So, let's see what we got here. 9/16. Not too tight. Eleven sixteenths. Has 2 nuts on here, they're lock nuts. I just torqued them off. Okay, slide on there. There's a little key in here too that I want to make sure that I get and that I put in a safe place so that I can forget about it. There. Well, he's stuck in there pretty good. Maybe I just leave him in there. Alright, back onto this guy. I'm going to unscrew this one too, so when the time comes to take him off, he's not in the way. And there's a little spacer in here, like a real thick washer. Looks like that. Remind me. All right. Let's move everything out of the way here. All right. Looks like there's 2 more here. These guys are what? 7/16. They got a nut on the back, do they? Or they just screw it in? Looks like they screw right in. No, there's a little nut on the back. Okay. This guy. Okay. It's holding a nut with the fingers. Washers, all that good stuff. Now to get this wheel off. He's like the only thing holding them on now. Okay. Spin this guy off. Let the juice do its thing. There we go. Nice. Alright, this guy's coming off. There's probably a, yeah, there's a little keeper in there. This one's half round. Alright, and there's also a pointer here that's just a screwdriver, so standard slotted tip screwdriver. So we'll get my vintage screwdriver here and we'll take that off. Angle pointer. I'll set him safely aside here too. Alright, now if things go in the way that I hope they do, that top should come right off. Let's see what happens here. Clean my workstation. Alright, I might have to jiggle a little bit to get that. Oh yeah, come right off. Oh. Heavy, heavy, heavy. Oh, God. Just put this aside. I could take off the extension, but I don't think I'm going to do that because, quite frankly, I'm pretty lazy. All right, let's try the compressed air again. A lot of crud down here. Was used with softwoods. There's a lot of pitch and stuff that's going to have to be wire wheeled. Alright, so let's check the arbor here. That's kind of the most important thing. So we have no in and out that way. None. How about up and down? Boy, that arbor is good. Saw has been used, but that arbor is good. Looks like right here we have a grease station. There's not a zerk, yeah, but there is grease in there. Feeling something in there I gotta pull out too. I don't know what that is. That's going to get all new grease. So, in case you don't know, these guys, they put a real fine thread on this this cap here. You know what? I'll get you in for this. Okay, here's what I'm talking about, that where you grease the arbor here. Okay. Here's the cap, and there's a real fine thread on it. So what you do is you fill that guy all the way. You overfill him, and then with grease, and then you put more grease in the cap. And then when you screw it down, because these threads are so fine, it pushes that grease down into the arbor. So that's the way that works. I'm just going to give a cursory glance here. This gear looks great, no chips, no nothing. This gear here, a little tiny bit munged up there, but this looks really good there. And that is gonna go, okay, so this one's a little strange. Normally, when I say strange, I mean different, say Delta and Craftsman, whatever. Normally there is a pinion gear that these will go against. Pinion gear is a gear that's not round, or just, it's lengthwise. So this worm gear will engage that and push this guy up and down. That's not the case here. There is no worm gear. It just sits in a track here. Okay? So I don't like that design as well as I like the other one. There's no positive engagement. Here too, it's using basically the wall of the case to push that back and forth. And that is not as heavy duty a design as the other ones. Well, let's get into pulling this apart now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 bolts to take off. All right, what do you think? 9/16, I'm guessing. We'll loosen them all with a wrench. Not very tight. Not very tight. Not very tight. A little tight, but not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. Let's get after the impact. All more off. This guy should just come right up. He should just come right up. Unless I'm missing one. Yeah, okay, so there's pins in all 4 corners that are just location pins. They won't allow it to move sideways, so you gotta lift her straight up like I'm doing here. Interesting. I haven't taken apart an Atlas before, so this is as new to me as it is to you. Meanwhile, there's a guy with a beard in the back going, it's not new to me, I've taken apart 1,000 of them. Okay, one more here. We gotta get in there somehow and lift this guy up. Maybe we can just torque it. Okay. Full of... This guy doesn't want to come out. There we go. Here, I'll show you. There's a pin here in each one of the corners that goes down into a hole. That's for locating these things quite precisely. Right, there's some more washers here. Now we'll place comes. These guys are going to wire wheel bin. Let's hit this guy again with the air. So this is just the cast iron top and its extension. I'm going to move it just so it's not in my way and we can get to taking apart the guts. On to the guts. As per usual, I am not going to take apart this Arbor just because I don't want to press all that stuff out if I don't have to. You can damage bearings and stuff when you take them out, so I'm not going to do that. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that there's a number of different ways that these things are retained. Sometimes they're clips, sometimes they're pins, sometimes they're nuts. Your particular machine will let you know. On this one, I can see right in there, there's a stop collar with a set screw that goes in. So I'd pull the pulley off and then I would undo that that stop collar and then undo the set screw in the stop collar and then just pull the stop collar off, and then I'd be able to push this out. Okay, so what am I going to take apart then? Well, I'm going to take apart everything else. I'm going to take apart this. Okay, all those look like halves, right? Not too bad. So this is the elevation part right here that I'm taking off. Okay. 7/16. Boy, all of them are coming off pretty easy. Now that I said that, this one looks like a 9/16 faux show. Yep. Oh, right off. washer has a pin in them too. That's interesting because this is the rotation here. Oh, I see what it is. That's what retains it down there. This little pin goes in right there. It goes into this thing because this thing is retained by that. Let's get these guys off. Half inch. Again, very easy. That juice did its job. Okay. So there's a collar here, and as I look at this, this has got to come up before it can come off. And there is, you can't get it up high enough because of this screw device here. Let's take this guy off as long as we're here. We're at 7/16. Okay, so this mechanism is now off, and all of this will be lubed to within an inch of its life. So we can't get this guy up. So what we have to do is we have to unscrew this guy all the way. I'll show you what I mean here. All right, so this guy's got to come up off of this axle, I'll call it, because that's what it turns on, right? But he goes through the casting here, so he can't come up. So what do we have to do? We have to manually unscrew this guy all the way out of this. In order to do that, we have to take out that set screw and that collar. What do you think, Eighth? Now I got that collar off. Now this guy will get all the way unthreaded. And this is kind of like a left-hand thread. Think about it that way. I'm rotating it clockwise here to unscrew it from the trunnion. Okay, so let me get off the side of the table. There's all sorts of dirt in there. I should give that a shot of lube. Go. Always have the lube within your reach. Always. Okay, now we'll go back. Remember what I told you? You got to screw it in to screw it out. It's like Nick Lowe says, got to be cruel to be kind. You gotta be cruel to be kind. That was kind of a stretch. I'll give you that. Okay, this guy's all the way out. Now this guy should be able to lift off of the axle here with yet some more lube. Nice tight fit, good tolerance. There we go. Right in there, yeah. He's in good shape, good shape. That guy's gonna get wire wheeled. Die cast, you know me, I don't like die cast parts, but what are you gonna do? All right, that is every part off of this thing. A couple of screws for the riving knife or the spacer, whatever you want to call it, back here. And there's this guy that is the lock. And that other one's broken off. We talked about that before. There it is. What's left? Clean this with an inch of its life. All sorts of compressed air. All sorts of brake clean. Take her over the wire wheel. Wire wheel all of this stuff. And that's the most boring part of these videos. I normally don't even put them in anymore. But that is a lot of work. Then what am I going to do? Then I will repaint everything and I'll bring you back when we start putting her all back together. Okay, so back from the wire wheel, just to kind of show you. First of all, you're always wearing this on the wire wheel. It throws up wires all the time. I also wear my apron because I find wires stuck in there, and of course gloves. So you wire wheel all of these. It gets all that crud out. It just helps it so that when I grease it, and I will grease it, there's no grit or anything in there on all of these. Another thing I do want to show you that I do on every single one of these is I hit this face just a little bit on the belt grinder. Because these are die cast and soft, they can develop quite a burr on the edge here, right? So I just touch them just a little bit. Same thing with this stop collar here. Just touch it just a little bit on both of these faces, and that'll help it move really smoothly. So I did want to show you that instead of, showing you me for an hour in front of the wire wheel. I'll just kind of show you the results. I do every screw head and the screw threads. That all helps when the stuff goes together. So there's a lot of stuff you don't see. Just a quick show of how I'm going to weld this. You can see I put a nice bevel here, and then on the other side I did that too. And I'm just going to weld it here. I've tried many different types, and I just never been able to weld cast iron very well. I've tried the specific cast iron rod, I tried wire feed, I tried brazing. Actually, for me, works the best. With this, I'm just going to try some 60-13 rod and see what happens. I'm not going to preheat it, I'm just going to weld it. Okay, so I got her welded with this booger weld right here. You can see there's some porosity in it. It's not the best looking weld in the world, but I got enough stuff in there with those big bevels I had on there. I think that it's structurally probably okay. It's not under a lot of stress in the motor anyhow, but there you have it. As I told you, we're going to drill and tap this because the casting's broken. So we're going to drill and tap that for like, let's say a 1/4x20 bolt just to hold it in there. So put a little bit of this guy in there, and I'm just going to drill it by hand. Okay, it's a little thin there. I'm a little concerned. They have this button that's in the casting there. Of course, that part broke off, so guy's doing the best he can. 1/4x20 tap. Okay, because this is cast iron and it's hard and brittle, I'm going to use some special high-speed, high-sulfur cutting oil, and it's 1040. And we'll see what we can do. Tapping cast iron is not very fun because it's hard and it's brittle. So if you ever have to do it, go slow. Use plenty of lube. Get her started, and do this a lot. That breaks the chip, you'll feel it break it. It's getting hard to turn, so I go back about a half turn and you feel it break the chip. I happen to have compressed air here, so I'm going to use it to further remove those chips in there. Yeah, I'm being very careful tapping this hole. Very careful. It's already broken once. Alright, I'm through now. Just going to run her down there just to make sure that the whole thing is, threads are good. Okay, coat of primer, coat of color. I'm going to let this dry overnight, and then I'm going to put on one more color coat and call it good and get back to it. During that time that this is drying, I'll take you over and we'll look at the case, the sheet metal case that all this stuff goes into. I said we'd get to it, and so we have. Here is that side that has this guy all bent up. You can see the other side. If you look in here, there's a little screw that goes in there too, and it's just an access plate. This side does not have it, and it's all bent up. So let's do the first thing is try to unbend it as much as we can. Just have a vice grip here, and we'll just try to fold this in a little bit. It's pretty heavy material. Gauge on it is pretty heavy. Okay, doing what I can, where I can. I think I'm gonna have to, that's about as good as I can get it. I can maybe pull her through a little bit more this way. Yeah, it's working a little bit too. don't think anything more. I'm gonna have to hit it with an anvil, and it's still, hit it with a hammer on an anvil. It's still not gonna be perfect, but we can get it fairly close. We'll see. Chip Foose, if you're watching, no, I am not available to do body work on your cars. I got my own thing going here, but thanks. That's not too bad. Maybe bend that over a little bit more. I had some 1/8 inch hardboard lying around. It's just, you know, hardboard. And I cut it to the right size, approximately. And I ground in the angles on the corner. So I will paint this gray, and then I'll drill that hole where that mounting hole is, and put it in there when I'm ready to reassemble. And it should, you know, it'll be far away from looking good, but it'll look good from far away if you catch my drift. On to the badging. The badging on this, it's all removable. They didn't rivet it on like everybody else. So they're just small sheet metal screws, it looks like. And thanks to the juice I put on there last night, coming off. So that is a bonus. We have the manufacturing badge here, and then the patent pending badge. If I can get her off. Don't lose them screws, they're really small. Okay, so those two are off. Make it easier to paint. I got the plastic Atlas badge off. That is just held on by these clips. I don't know if you can see that or not. These clips right here just hold that on like that. So you get a screwdriver in there and you bend these little fingers up so it releases it, and then you can get that off. It'll also help with the painting. And then we have this guy here, the gauge. That is also held on by little bolts this time. They got nuts on the other end. I'm guessing 5/16. Let's see. 5/16. Okay, so this guy will be a piece of cake to paint. Won't have to tape anything. Won't have to worry about any overspray. Let's get this guy in here. These guys coming off pretty easy. This is the saw tilt gauge. You know, that's all I have to do here. I'll clean this up with a little Purple Power first and a little brake cleaner.